feel like there are so many people living this life, going to church, but inside hurting, and they're afraid to talk about it. They're afraid to say, I'm gay and I'm Mormon. We all have struggles, right? It doesn't matter if you're gay or not. We all need people. And I know that if we didn't have people
to truly love us,
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Hi friends, this is an interview with Courtney and Rachelle. We were lucky enough to find them on a blog where they were sharing their life and their journey. I just wanted to learn from them, learn from their faith. And so this video is a little bit longer than a typical 7 minutes, but because it involves two separate people, I didn't feel like I could cut it any shorter. But I think you'll find that the time moves very swiftly as you are listening. So here's Courtney and Rachelle.
I grew up in the church. I did not have a hard life growing up. I did everything I was supposed to do because I was hiding a secret of my lesbian orientation. And it literally tore my soul into pieces growing up because I knew the church was true. But I knew that a core piece of who I was in direct opposition of my belief. And Satan lived in this secret. And the less I talked about it and the more I held it inside, Satan started taking up more space. I hid in fear, and that fear grew doubt, and that doubt turned into depression. And for me, it truly was a life or death decision. Like, stay in the church, be depressed, unhappy, and end it. Or leave the church and find some release. You know? And that day and that decision was really hard. Not just for me, but for my family. Because when I said, I found a woman and she is wonderful and I'm moving to Oregon to be in a relationship with her and leave BYU, their hearts broke. And that was a hard thing for me to describe to all my new non-LDS friends. Because they're like, why is your family judging? Why is the Mormon community so mean and so turning their back on you because you're gay? And I had to explain, like, don't be mad, don't be mean. I'm not mad, I'm not mean. Because I understand that they truly feel that they're losing an eternity. They're losing a family member.
So I grew up in Oregon, and my family's pretty liberal, and I've always been that way.
And
I just go in Oregon, and I met Courtney through acapella.
So nerdy. I was in the all-female acapella group Noteworthy at Brigham Young University. She was in the all-female acapella group DeVC, and at the University of Oregon. We did a joint show together. We met and we were like, locked eyes from across the room. We're like, what's up? And then it was like so much fluff and beautiful and like flurries and la la la. But that's how we met.
You know, like I said, my family, not super religious, but you know, they're wonderful people and they believe in God. And I have to be honest that I really felt that organized religion at the time I just saw so much of like the negative. It shut me off to this idea of religion, that meeting people that were really not loving and didn't really practice what
they preach. When my life took the 180 and I moved out to Oregon, it was very hard for my family. Like, my dad especially was afraid to show love to me because he didn't want to condone the actions of my new life. My dad didn't meet Rachelle. We were together for 5 years before he met her. And it was at my sister's wedding. We were at the temple and we're taking family pictures after my sister was married. And Rachelle, like, being the loving and, like, ultra aware human that she is, was like, I'm just gonna step out. I don't want to be in the family pictures. I just don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. And so I'm standing in this picture like, but that's my family over there. Like, Rachelle's my family, and I want her in this picture. So I'm, like, crying in the picture. My grandma looks at me and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, Rachelle's not in the picture because she feels uncomfortable. And my grandma looks at me and just says, well, I'm grandma, and what I say goes, and I want Rachelle in the picture. So she waltzes over to Rachelle and grabs her by the hand and brings her in the picture. And we have our first family photo. And immediately following the picture, my dad pulls Rachelle and I aside, and he grabs us and just says, I love you. The fact that I haven't met you, Rachelle, until this moment is not because of you. It's because of me and my hard-heartedness. And he apologized, and he said, I'm sorry, but I want you to know that I love you both. And that was the turning point. We were able to start mending a lot of hurt feelings on both sides of the fence, and we just loved each other. And I truly believe that moment is what softened Rachelle's heart for 9 months later being able to listen to the missionaries. So I guess it was over a year ago, holy moly, that I felt the pull to come back to church. And it was literally less than a week. I hear a knock at the door, and it's the missionaries. And they would just come and just talk. And I told them my whole story. You know, I grew up in the church. My dad is a bishop. My mom's a Relief Society president. I went to BYU for 5 years. I met a wonderful woman, and we fell in love, and we got married, and we're very happy. But I do kind of want to go back to church. And they're like, great, we would love for you to come back to church. And so they just started coming over and listening, and we just would have religious conversations.
I always believed in God, but like I was saying before, it was more of this, like,
concept,
ethereal, like,
instead of
and so I was just really skeptical. I thought, there's these people are going to come in and tell me how, you know, all the things I'm doing wrong, and I was scared of that. The thing that I realized every time they left was how I felt. I felt lighter. I felt they brought this peace with them. They brought this real, genuine love of Christ with them every time they came. And that was something that I couldn't shake. And it made me want to learn more. Never did they tell me how to live my life. They just were...
We just talked about Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
They never were like, you should get divorced, and this is the choices you should make.
We were all on this journey together, you know, and they were helping us. They were helping us along the way figure this out, and they didn't necessarily have all the answers, like,
for our specific journey,
you know, like all these black and white answers, like, right there. But they were like, we're gonna do this together. We're gonna get through it, and
they just loved us.
They loved us.
That's all they did. Like, and it wasn't just the missionaries; it was everyone in our ward.
Yes,
our bishop, our visiting teachers. We were fellowshipped in the most perfect way. And because people got to know us and didn't judge us, because we were married to each other, we were able to just, like, take our time to figure it out. And they created an environment for us to just grow. Eventually, it's probably like a month or two into, like, us, like, just talking with the missionaries, that they came over, and Elder Bishop was like, will you read the Book of Mormon? And I was like, yeah, right, Rachelle's not going to say it, in my mind. And then, but immediately Rachelle just looks at me and says, yes.
When I started reading and really kind of digging to see if this is something that I wanted to pursue, I immediately felt a peace that I've never had in my life before. And it took me a little while to distinguish what that feeling was. And so I just kept reading, I kept praying. And then it was so clear. And now it's so clear to me that, like, that's God's love.
We wanted so badly because we knew at the end, if we finished and we prayed about it and he told us it was true, we knew what that meant for our relationship. But it's true. And we got the answer that Jesus Christ loves us. The Book of Mormon is true. And that's the end. That is the only truth we needed to know.
I didn't want it to be true for a long time. But there's no way I could discount the feelings that I felt. And yeah, there's no way, even if I wanted to, that I could discount the truthfulness of that book.
Yeah. Finished the Book of Mormon Christmas Day with our family. And we literally felt our Heavenly Father's arms just like wrap around us. And we said, okay, like, that will be done. We'll do it. And so I think that's when our minds were kind of made up.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot of life decisions were going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so we finished the Book of Mormon. We filed for divorce on New Year's Eve last year. And we had family and friends who carried us to Rachelle's baptism. Mm-hmm. The day Rachelle got baptized, I remember we were driving in the car, mm-hmm. and you were just like...
I said, I remember knowing in that moment, it all came together for me that the reason I met Courtney wasn't for us to get married. It was so that we could do this together and so that I could be introduced to this gospel.
And the Lord introduced you to me, back to the real point, because I needed you to bring me back. I couldn't have done this without Rachelle.
You know, and it's hard too, because this is our story, and it's not like this for everyone. No. I feel very fortunate to have her in my life, and I feel very fortunate that we both made the decision that we did separately, but we have been able to carry each other, and that has been a huge, huge blessing. Yeah. And I don't pretend to think that everyone has that. And it's hard.
We cannot pass judgment on those who may not find true peace in an LDS congregation.
Hard thing about us talking about our story, and I think it will continue to be hard, because I think gay Mormons want an answer, and I don't know that there is this black and white answer for everyone, because I think everyone has a different journey, and I think it would be a little bit ignorant to say that every single person needs to do exactly this.
To all the people who've reached out to us and will continue to reach out to us about our journey, the truth is that the only thing that truly matters is your relationship with your Heavenly Father and truly taking advantage of the atonement of Jesus Christ. Nothing else matters.
That will bring you your answer.
Yes, you know? Our answer comes a little bit every single day. Mm-hmm. We don't know what our lives will look like in 20 years. We don't. But we have the faith that our Heavenly Father's plan for us is better than our own. The ideas that we had for our life were so great. And we gave those up. Because we know that our Heavenly Father's plan is better. It's better than what we had in mind.
He's promised it over and over and over again.
And for those struggling, you have to know that He will not let you be alone. He will not let you be empty inside. And if you truly give just an ounce of faith and say, guide my next step, He will do it.